brands too. In this world today where everything and anything is larger than life, including valuations, whether it is about something which is grounded in reality of assets, balance sheets, or it is something which is up in the air, perceptual, more perceptual maybe, how do brands become valuable? In this digital age, in that context, how do brands become discussed with the panelists that we have here with us this evening? How do brands become valuable in this age of online and digital? That's what we're going to discuss. So the panelists who are going to be joining me up here for this.
Thank you, sir, for joining us here this evening. And now our next panelist, with more than 20 years of experience in various leadership positions, he brings to the table a keen understanding of how businesses are. With expertise in strategy, planning, business development, operations, sales, and of course, marketing. Please put your hands together and welcome on stage Mr. Sanjay Mehta, founder and CEO of Social Wavelength. The next member of our think tank is an eminent industrialist and chairman emeritus of the gentleman with the wonderful blue shirt. Chairman Emeritus of Tokyo Camlin Limited, Mr. Subhash Ghai. Our next panelist is a visionary who has single-handedly pioneered modern homeopathy in India.
Is what we are going to unveil in one of its avatars on stage right now. It is in multiple avatars that this particular property has been launched, but the avatar that you'll see up here at the moment is the coffee table book avatar coffee. A whole lot of research has gone into it. A validation process which has been done by KPMG has gone into it. A little bit later in the evening, we will
stage along with Mr. Semik Sen, CEO WCRC, for the big unveil. Ladies and gentlemen, research of the 100 most valuable brands processed and evaluated by KPMG, an endeavor that dares to inspire, dares to innovate, dares to dream, and dares to be different. We bring you the Most Valuable Brands 2014. Showcase of the 100 most valuable brands of 2014.
And the copies of the coffee table book are right here. Beautiful design innovations as always from WCRC. And as you turn the pages of this book, you will see some of the most eminent brands, most iconic brands in the country featured right in there. And of course, we also have on stage with us Mr. Samit Singh, the CEO of WCRC.
Can I request
You want me to come in as well? They are the people. Go on. Mr. Gupta, can you maybe see some of the inside of this book as well, because it looks beautiful from the outside. Oh wow. Like I said, a beautiful book that is. And while we have all of you here on stage, we would also like to get 2 more people up here on stage while we launch the next property. And the next property that we are going to launch, since maybe everybody will not be able to get the coffee table book in their hands right away, we have for you the special edition of the December issue of the WCRC Leaders magazine, which in the December issue has the 100 top brands, the most valuable brands of India on its cover. Can we also please see the WCRC Leaders Special Edition December? And while these magazines are coming out,
we'd also like to request the presence of Mr. Subhash Ghai, Dr. Mukesh Batra, Mr. Tripathi, Group Editorial Director WCRC, and Mr. Vivek Datta, Group CEO WCRC. Can I request these wonderful gentlemen to join us on stage as we bring you the year-end issue of the most valuable brands, which will be available at a magazine stand near you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear you make some noise for the most valuable brands, the magazine edition, the year-end special.
magazine in terms of design almost as beautiful if not more than the coffee table book itself. This is the special edition WCRC Leaders December. Please do check it out, hitting the stands near you very soon and shortly. And last but not the least, and when I say last but not the least, in fact, among the most important of the triple headers today, we are launching a property which, in its first edition, is going to be here from Maharashtra. There are 3 more editions of it. All 4 editions put together, this property is called the Pride of India. And under the Pride of India, we are going to recognize some of the most iconic, the most sought after, the most influential leaders from across industries and domains.
But we want a few more people to join us on stage, don't we? To begin with, can I request Masaba to join us on stage, along with Mr. Rahul Vedya, Mr. Atul Nisar, Mr. Amish Tripathi, Miss Aparna Popat, and Miss Anjali Bhagwat. Can I request the presence of all of these wonderful individuals on stage as we get ready for the big unveil, the Pride of India. My dear friends, it's not just enough to stare at the stars, it's equally important to step up the stairs. And we have a list of visionaries, icons, leaders, influencers, and game changers who've made that possible and have been beautifully captured in this magazine publication, The Pride of India.
Maharashtra edition, the first edition of this four-parter, which will come to you all together by the end of this next year. But if you turn the pages here, truly inspirational stories of people who've gone and done things against challenges, against odds, and have proven their mettle, not just in the country, but across Asia and across the globe. You have to check some of these out. Some of these people, in fact, are on stage with us here right now, and you would see them coming back up on stage with formal introductions a little bit later. A beautiful looking book there, a round of applause for the book and for everybody who's in it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us out here. Thank you so much, sirs. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Can we have a huge round of applause one more time, ladies and gentlemen? And now, my dear friends, with the launches out of the way, let's get down to the business of awards and rewards. Our first awards that are going to be the Pride of India.
Not just here, but listening to and across the community. What has been your inspiration over these years?
Good evening. First, I want to thank the WCRC team and for the honor they have given to me. He asked me a very interesting question that how you become inspiration for the younger generation. Since my childhood, I've been looking at the best of the people of my country, the world. I made nothing less than the best. I made nothing friend to less than the best. Best of the books, best of the icons, best of the classics. I made them friends. They inspired me. How did they do? Where did they fail? How did they achieve? What were their qualities? I read a lot of autobiographies, biographies of icons. And from a simple, ordinary boy from Delhi, I came to Bombay to make my fortune. And I discovered myself that I'm an actor, then I'm a writer, from writer to director, the director to corporate producer, then corporate to educationist, and now I'm proud of the fact that I have set up a global film school. This is my big contribution to my society, to my younger generation, to inspire them. What I want to say here is that I was very happy to see the 100 world bronze in your display. Only thing, my dream is, what is going to be the time when the Indian products or Indian brands are going to be in the international panel? If you look at all those brands, they're all international. They're all coming from other countries. When are we going to make is our dream? And I don't think that we can fulfill this dream at the moment for another 5 to 10 years. But what we can do is definitely that we can contribute our experience, knowledge, intelligence by educating younger generations to understand the importance of India, Indian culture, Indian heritage, and be real Indian, be really Bharatiya. And what is Bharatiya? Bharatiya is Satyam, Shivam, Sundram. And let's march towards that kind of education, which is called the right kind of education, to the children. Inspire them. You are all here are achievers. And it's important duty for us today that we should have a function after 10 years where we have numerous Indian brands in international scene, right? And that can happen only when we contribute as senior, we younger generation, and particularly education, particularly giving them our knowledge, intelligence to them, groom them to be Indian international. I am sure that it's everyone's dream today, and I share with you. And thank you very much. This is what I want to say.
Thank you so much, sir, for those inspiring words.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next icon to be awarded here tonight. She's one of India's most successful costume designers, stylists. I like to call her a fashion guru. She won the National Film Awards from the President of India on 4 different occasions for Best Costume Design in a Film. She has been associated with films such as...
We were doing a discussion a little earlier on how brands remain relevant over the period of years. And here's a brand which has remained so relevant all through the years. What is it that you think is important, which you could share with budding designers today, which they should take note of?
Very good evening to all of you. When I started my career, it was just fun. It was just a hobby. But one thing remained very, very prominent in my mind, that whatever I did, I had to do it like it was the last year of my life. And it had to be done in the very best way. I think that's what took me 34 years today in this industry. And what I'd like to share with all budding designers and anyone who's an entrepreneur basically is that quality is something that takes you leaps and bounds. Focus on your quality and learn to innovate yourself and create a niche for yourself. Create a landmark which you can surpass every time you do something which you think is the best thing that you've done in your life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, beautifully said. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next awardee here today, former world #1, a professional Indian shooter, one of India's leading women athletes of all time. She is the only Indian to have won the ISSF Champions Trophy in air rifle, men and women mixed event at Munich 2002. She has represented India in 3 consecutive Olympics. Please put your hands together for Miss Anjali Bhagwat.
Like I always say, if someone like me could write a book as long as these 3 books, and they could actually be well received, it had to be the blessing of Lord Shiva. I always tell writers that if someone like me can write, trust me, anyone can write. Thank you.
Masaba, whether it is your own personal style or what you're doing with fashion out there, it's different, it's new, it's fresh. What would be your word of advice to old and new brands in remain in fresh?
I think to start with, I have a big problem with being mediocre. So I think everyone should have that at a very young age, and don't fit in. Don't try and do things that the masses do and what people do. Like Neeta Lulla said, make your niche, and I think always innovate. Always try and do something different out of the box, something that no one's done before. And if you can't do what no one's done before, then do what they've done, but do it differently. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That makes sense.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Masaba, for joining us. Introduction. Can we also request you to maybe sing a few lines for us right now, whatever's going through your mind, to commemorate this wonderful moment?
Firstly, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely an honor to be here, to be sitting amongst and to be awarded and rewarded amongst people whom I have idolized in many ways or the other. Big round of applause for Mr. Subhash Ghai, the real showman of India. Everybody, मैं बहुत बड़ा fan हूँ where he's sitting, it's kind of my honor to be here. Mr. Batra, again, congratulations, Masaba, for having the most wonderful designs you might really love. And my girlfriend often says that I only want Masaba sarees, only want Masaba outfits. So I'm going to come to you, please give me a discount. And and thank you for the most wonderful introduction. You look beautiful. And I'd like to thank WCRC for considering me, capable enough to be given this award. I don't think I am an achiever. I think it's just the start. I really believe in this. It's just the start and much more to go. And today, just while coming, I was on television watching the Peshawar killing that has just happened in Pakistan, and I think it is the most appalling thing that could have ever happened in the face of humanity. And the only lines that I could think of, for something as bad as that is, we all are a nation who believes in the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi ji. And I'd like to sing two lines. जो उनके लिए हमेशा लोग आते हैं. I'd like everybody to clap with me. वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए जी पीर पराई जाने रे. वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए जी पीर पराई जाने रे. पर दुखे उपकार करे तो मन अभिमान न जाने रे. वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए जी पीर पराई जाने रे. Thank you very much, and I really hope that the departed souls no words can actually be said for them, and I hope nothing like this ever happens to our neighbor. And I think that's all. I don't have anything, because I think it's a very emotional moment. So I was very, very something like this never happens. But nevertheless, I would like to thank WCRC for having.
Viraj, very few moments leave you a little speechless, and Rahul, आपने तो बोलती बंद करवा दिया. Thank you.